Welcome back, fellow grievers. And today we are going to talk about the physical weight of grief. So, welcome. Please follow, like, subscribe, all the things. So, not only can you get help with your grief, but others can as well. So, today we're going to talk about the actual weight that we feel with grief. Okay. So, grief can feel heavy, not just like metaphorically, right? Like mentally, but physically as well. Physically, we can feel exhausted. We can feel a heaviness in our body. We can feel like a pressure in the chest. And this is grief fatigue. It is when your nervous system has been working overtime and your body is processing loss, even if your mind has kind of quieted down. Okay. And a lot of times we can judge ourselves for being tired. I was just talking with a fellow mom today. I was a guest on her podcast, and she was saying after her mom died, she spent like 4 days in bed and she just didn't have the energy. She's like, and I wasn't being a good mom. It's like, time out though. Like, your body is going through something so stressful and so hard and heavy that like we wouldn't look at a mom who just gave birth and hours later be like, well, get out of bed, like come on, carry on. And I would say we kind of do. Our society now, we kind of do, but that's not how it used to be. That's not what our bodies were meant for. Our bodies were meant to recover and rest and spend time with the baby, right? Like, so just know that you wouldn't look at somebody who got in a car accident and say, well, get up now, you lazy bones, pull it together. Like, come on, that was last week. Like, what are you doing? But yet, we do that to ourselves with grief all the time. And it's because I really think it's because we can't physically see it, for one. And so it feels like people aren't going to believe us, right? Like, and then you have people who don't believe you, who say things that maybe aren't the nicest or who haven't experienced that. So they really just truly don't know. And so then we add on more guilt to ourselves. Okay. And so I just want to share with you, like, to allow the space to heal. Okay. When something feels heavy, it doesn't mean you're stuck. It means that we're just working through it, right? And and I want to say that again, I just think like Jesus in the agony of the garden, I just think he's the best person to look to because he went through such physical anguish in the garden that he was sweating blood. And I just think like that is just so profound to the amount of grief and pain he was going through without even going through any physical pain yet. And so just knowing that this is hard, it is painful, it's exhausting. And you're not being lazy, you're not being a bad parent, you're not being a bad spouse, you're just healing. Okay, your body is taking the time to heal. So this week, I want to leave you with a few practical tips that you can do to help you through this. Okay. So I want you to really, and this doesn't matter if it's been like a month or if it's been years, because as we know with grief, there's always things that kind of come up and trigger the grief again, or there's a new grief that then kind of brings up the past grief with it. So I just want you to really honor where your body is at and how you're feeling. If you feel like it's a really heavy week and you're really tired, plan that in. Okay. Plan it, even if it's 5 minutes. Just plan to sit down, close your eyes. I'm not good at just sitting. Okay. So even for me to have on like a Gregorian chant or some sort of peaceful prayer meditation is helpful to me. Now I will say I do get to adoration once a week. But even there, it's hard for me to just sit. But 5 minutes, I can usually do that. Okay. 5 minutes to just sit and rest. Maybe talk to God and be like, God, all I have today is just my tiredness. So I want to give that to you. And and if possible, right, try to sit more than standing and powering through. Okay, if you're able, again, to just take a few snippets of rest throughout the day, 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Okay, like, and really rest, right? Because a lot of times, like, I know, again, for me, I have a hard time sitting and just being. And so when when there were days where I would have like really heavy days, or even just lately, I've tried to, when I'm driving, okay, I'm still actively going to the next place to pick up my kids or to go get groceries and do the next thing. But what I really try to do is I'll try to just have a few minutes of quiet and just sit and try not to, like, I try to catch my brain because my brain wants to just rattle on to like the to-do list, or don't forget to go here, or don't forget to pick up this. But really just try to just shut that noise down. And even though I'm actively driving, right, it's a way I'm sitting down and I'm shutting off the brain a little bit. I'm trying to get some quiet. Okay. Another thing you can do is really, like, it's still winter here. Okay. It's warmed up a bit this week, but last week was like -50s, -40s. So really having a space where I would come back to, where I have my husband got me a a heater, what's that called? Like a heat pad. Okay. So when I'm sitting in my recliner, and yeah, and I was doing this right away, like just at nighttime. So at the end of the day, after I got everything done, it was like my reward, right? Like I would sit down, I'd turn on this heat pad, it'd be on my back, I'd put my feet up, and I'd watch a show. Now, more and more this past week, this one not so much, but last week was pretty heavy. I was emotionally exhausted. There was just a lot of things coming up. I would just sit throughout the day. I would plug it in, I'd turn on the heating pad, and then I'd go get something to drink. I'd grab a bubbler, or I'd grab some water or my coffee. And then I would sit and I'd have the heating pad on my back. So just little ways to like not take a lot of time, but sit and drink a cup of coffee with this heating pad on my back with a blanket over my legs just felt so soothing for me. It just calmed my nervous system down so much. Another thing that will help can be stretching. Doing like a short little, there's so many, you can YouTube little short 10-minute stretching videos, and just, or even, just have a couple where it's like stretch your arms out, right? Oh, reach down, touch your toes, like put your arm across. In elementary school, we used to always do windmills, right? Little windmills, big windmills, right? Like just doing that kind of some gentle stretching or movement really helps. Again, just get that kind of that brain fog out of the way. Okay. And then just to remember, I want you always to tell yourself, not always, right? But like when needed, like rest is allowed. It's okay. Resting does not equal laziness. Okay, because that I feel like is ingrained in us from a very early age. That if you're sitting, that means you're lazy. Resting does not mean laziness. I like to even tell myself, like, I'm learning how to rest. Because really, truly, rest should replenish you and help you get on to the next thing. We don't know how to rest very well in American modern day culture. We don't know how to rest. We either scroll or mindlessly do things, or we're just busy, 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 right? Like we don't really truly know how to just rest and pause and replenish. Okay, so that's what I want you to practice this week. Even if you're like, wow, I did it one day. I got 5 minutes in one day this week. That's amazing. Good job. I'm so proud of you. And keep going. All right. So I also want to encourage you guys to go to catholicgriefcoach.com to sign up for my Lent grief group. That's coming up. Lent is coming up. I know it seems crazy. Oh, the days are flying by. But Lent is right around the corner. So sign up for my Lent grief group. And it's such a wonderful, just life-giving time. And I know, which kind of seems like counterproductive with Lent, right? We always think like heavy and dreary, but really it's not, because what we're going through is heavy and dreary. And my goal is to really just unite us to Jesus in that time. And that always feels better. So go there, join for that, and I will see you next time.